Hello everyone, welcome to DevOps or your family. My name is Rajeshwaran. Today we are going to explore some microservices. I'm having a Docker Kubernetes cluster installed my local machine, and today we are in the world of all the services has been migrated, or you can say all the enterprise are moving towards the cloud, and we are leveraging the Kubernetes architecture, right? So I thought of having a small video or just small concept. This is not going to take more time. Okay. So what I'm having here, I'm having a deployment.yaml, and this is the deployment I'm going to create. It's just a small demo, and we'll explore each and every component in our upcoming videos. Okay. And I'm having a namespace.yaml. So this is used to create a namespace. I already created the namespace. By the way, the namespace is called Nadish. Okay, and there is admin user.yaml. This is used to create a Kubernetes dashboard server. So what we are doing, we are creating admin user, and we are providing the access to that one, and we are creating a namespace, and we need to create this accounts and everything under this Kubernetes dashboard. Okay, so before that, I'm having a Docker image. If you see, this is my repository in hub.docker.com, kb rajeshwaran slash nadish. So we will take an example of v0.0 and v1.0. So before that, I will just go and get all -a. So if you see, these many resources we are running in our local. So if you see, there is a cube system namespace. Under this one, we are having all our core DNS pod and etcd. These are all the Kubernetes basic like control plane, and we are also running the Kubernetes dashboard. Under the namespace, we are running this metric server and the dashboard pods, and I'm having my own namespace that is called Nadish. In that, I'm running a two pod for now, and I'm also having a replica set. And let me just get all the things, get or name. So under my namespace, which I created a namespace called Nadis, I'm running a pod, and I'm running a service with a node port so that I can able to access my service. That will be route the traffic to the pods. And I'm not creating a single pod, I'm creating a deployment. So there will be a lot of things like a deployment pod replica set that will go through in our next videos. This is just I'm creating a deployment. Okay, this deployment I'm having two pod. If I go to my deployment.yaml, I will go through this deployment.yaml. So we need to have the API version. Kind is deployment. Metadata, I'm giving a name as my uh, younger son name, that is Nadishwaran, and the namespace I'm having here is Nadish, and the label I'm hearing Nadishwaran, and this is the specification how many replicas we need to have for my pod. If you see, I'm running two replica, right? So I have set this as two. So if I will increase this one, and let's see, and selected. This is more important. If I have this label app Nadishwan, right? So this will help us to map my pod or the route the traffic to my pod. If I go to my service.yaml, if you see, the same kind is service and the metadata, this is okay. Namespace also, I'm using all the service deployed in the same namespace where I'm creating the deployment. And if you see label app, I have mentioned is Nadishwaran, the same way what I'm having here in the match label. And I'm creating a specification. I'm changing this to node port. There will be a cluster IP node port, and load balancer kind of a thing. Currently I'm using a node port service, so that will be route the traffic to 80, and the target port is my pod port that I'm running in my inside my container. That is the pod will host the container, right? I'm running 80 as a default as a pod in my container, and I'm selecting this as a selector. This is more important. This one will map or route the traffic to this match label Nadishwa. Yeah, and this is the node port. I can able to access this service from my local system, so that we can see the demo now. So what I'm going to do now, the thing is, currently I'm running two replicas, and the image version, if you see in the container image version, I'm using v.0.0, right? Probably I will take two things. Okay, so now I'll split this one. Probably we will need some, and here, okay, and here also, instead of I'm going and type kubectl, I'm just making this too. I'm creating alias. Okay, fine. Now what I have to do, first I need to see, this is my image, right? I'm running this one. This is the image repository name, and my image is Nadishwaran, and the tag is v0.0. If you see here, v0.0, and I'm running this as a service. If you see, if I go and access this localhost 3000, I'm just getting this welcome to DevOps for You channel, Nginx container project by Rajeshwaran, and this is our channel DevOps for You, right? This is a version 0.0, right? And now, before, I just need to watch the pod how it's going. What I'm doing here, I'm just getting the pod which is running, so that if I increase or decrease, we can able to see this one. Okay, and just kubectl get pod will get the pod which is running, and -n for namespace, and the namespace name is Nadish. So if I see, I'm running two pod, and also I want to watch probably curl-v http localhost. So what I'm doing here is, I'm just watching my input request here. Okay, I think I made a mistake here, so it should be local host. Yeah, so now we are continuously like enabling the command to watch the request. And now what I will do, probably I will just try to increase this to 5. Okay, now I need to just apply -f deployment.yaml. So here I'm a kubectl apply -f for file, and this is we are pointing that to deployment.yaml file. If you see, previously we are running only two container, not now this has been increased, my pod count has been increased to another 3, so totally we are running 5 container. I'm also having a dashboard here, and yeah, so for example, if I want to get the token, I will get the token for now to visualize the what is happening here. So this is the one. If I want to just decrease this one, and if I go and just, by the way, if you see, this is the beauty of the service. We are running that node port, right? So even though if I'm decreasing, I'm increasing, all my pod will get created based on the load. The traffic will route to the service will route the traffic to my pods. Okay, now I need to reapply to just see it's terminating the other additional three pod, right? And if I go and see here, okay, for example, in any case, this is I just got this error because I have just ran this one, right? Okay, now this is the one deployment jobs, everything we can able to see. By the way, our ultimate aim is now how to change the version, because that is more important, right? In the back end, all the new pod will get created and it will terminate the old pod. For example, what I have to do to watch that one, I will increase this count to 10. Let me just wait for the pod to come up. Okay, and by the way, if we have a nice UI, that also easy for us. So wait a second. Okay, right, log out and re-log in. Okay, yeah, this is, yeah. So now I am running with 10 pods and that will have the deployment, right? So using this deployment feature, we can able to uh, deploy my new image. So by default, that will be called a rolling update, and there will be two way of we can able to update our current image, or we can able to change the images or everything. That will be default will be like we are going to see that in action. Okay, so it will be not going to recreate, it will be just deploy. Okay, if I go and now we are running with 10 pods, right? So what I have to do, I have to pick the uh, actually our image is 1.0. What I will do, by mistake I will give like this. We'll see what is going to happen. Okay, so now if you see, it's terminated the pod, but it's getting error pull image, right? Because why? Because we don't have any images for that one, right? So that is the reason it won't allow other pod, but still we can able to run our services in the backend. It's not going to affect anything. But if I go and check the logs, okay, get pods, okay, and we need to check in the namespace. Okay, so now we are getting image pull back error, right? So if I just we need to describe this pod to get what is happening behind the scene, right? So sorry, my bad. So now I have to go and get this one, okay, describe, okay, described pod and hyphen in. Okay, so if you see, we are getting that successfully assigned this one, but pulling the image from my repository, and if I go and check that, there won't be image available with this tag, right? So that is the reason it's getting failed, because there is no image available. Now I need to correct this one. That means I need to update this with the correct value, and I'll be just applying the changes now. probably just okay apply -f deployment yeah. So now I have applied these changes and let's see. So now if you're able to see, this new container is getting created, right? So now if you see the age of the container, all this is less than a second or something like that. This is a newly created container, right? So now we are expecting there is a new change because we have changed the version. Previously it was version 0.0. Now we have changed that version to v1.0. So if I go and just refresh this one, you see this is the magic. So previously it was something else with red. Now we have changed this to welcome to DevOps Story channel Nginx pod deployed in K8s cluster by Rajeshwaran and successfully deployed static HTML website in K8 Kubernetes cluster. So let me show you again, and currently this is the v version 1.0. If I go with version 0 and I have to apply the changes, and if you see this pod will how this work, there will be, we can configure max surge and max unavailable pod. So by default it will be 25%. So what it will do, it will go and fetch the new image, it will create a container. Once the container is up and running, it will go with the loop back and it will create all the new container. So here if you see the difference, so this is the new image, and if I go here, yeah, see this is the difference. This is the version 0.0 and this was in red, and this is our, since we have applied that one, right? So now I will go and reapply that one, that is 1.0, and if I apply, so it will create a new container, but eventually we are not going to get our website down. That is the power of this Kubernetes, right? The services what we are seeing here, you see on the fly on the back end the pods are getting deployed and the service is like routing all the traffic to the new pod, but there won't be any no downtime. So currently I'm using node port. Probably in AWS or AKS or GCP there will be a load balancer. That load balancer will route the traffic behind the pods based on routing. It will, but the load balancer type is like the type of the service is load balancer or maybe ingress controller. You will see that in later. Okay, yeah. So now I need to like entirely I have to go with a new image. This is Nadish image, that is v 1.0, but instead of this one I need to entirely have a another image. And if I go back and I have another image, I have a image that I created using Rishi. This is my elder son. Okay, so now if I go and change this Rishi v 0.0, okay, what I will do, I will go here and I'll change this to yeah. So now it will totally change the background and all the images. If I go and apply these changes with the configuration file, and you see the old pod is getting terminated, but still we can able to access it's on the fly. You see my new image is updated with the version Rishi v 0.0, that is the version 0.0 with my elder son. His name is Rishi Kumar, and we can successfully deploy the pods just on the fly using this deployment. And this service we have selected as a node port, and you see still, even though the reason I just kept this one, there won't be any disruption on the services because I have enabled the watch, right? So it will keep on continuously watching this one, but still, even though the pods and the backend the pods are getting killed and the new pod is getting launched, there won't be any interruption to the service. That is the power of this service. So this service will ensure to route the traffic all the pod which have the selector app as Nadishwaran. If I go here, the selector name here I am giving here is match label app Nadishwaran. Fine. So once again, before I conclude, I'll be just reverting this to Nadish. Okay, and we'll go with v0.0 version, and I'll be applying this change. And if you see on the fly, still we are not getting any disconnection here, but if I go and just change this one, yeah, here you go, we are having the new change available and there won't be any disruption to the services. Thank you guys. We'll go and explore all the Kubernetes things, what is the Kubernetes and what is the Kubernetes architecture, everything in our upcoming video. This is just a small video I thought of sharing with you all how the deployment work and how easy if we have the image available uh, to build the microservices. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thank you so much.